Well, my job is to focus on long-range planning. So I look at the big picture, I look at the long term, and I try to anticipate trends and set some standards of where we want to go as a community. So it's all about vision. So in terms of trails, we're doing a new update to the transportation plan, and we're working with engineering. And we are broadening out the scope of the transportation plan to really focus on alternate transportation options.
The element of sustainability is certainly, something that's trending upwards, something that we're definitely trying to incorporate into our projects where possible. Recognizing, we have to provide, whether it be bike, trail, ped, road infrastructure for the community that's economical, cost effective, but while preserving our environment, utilizing green technologies where feasible. And so it's just right now what we're trying to do is find a good balance of kind of bringing all of those together to build sustainable type projects.
I think we have a really strong history in valuing trails here. We have over 130 miles of trails already in place. We know we have some gaps, and we're working to fill those in, but trails have always been very much valued in Fishers. So it's always been a part of development, and it's been a part of the town's mission. So I think that when we talked to the community, we did a survey with the transportation plan recently, and they told us they love the trails. They use the trails regularly, and they use them for recreation and exercise. And they want to see more trails. So I think they're just part of the fabric of this community. And the time frame we have for the transportation plan is 2030. And so we're looking about 17 years ahead. What are our transportation issues we're going to need to deal with? What is it important for us to anticipate and plan for? So we're talking about roads for cars, we're talking about the pedestrian network, the bike network, talking about alternate transportation options. We have a railway that runs right through Fishers. So we're looking at all kinds of options and choices for Fishers residents. I would also add the transportation survey. One of the things they told us is they would use the trails more if they connected key destinations. So, however you define key destinations, but I think one of the projects that will move forward in the next couple of years is the Nickel Plate Trail, and it will do just that. It will connect Connor Prairie, the Interactive History Park. It will connect Connor Prairie to downtown, and from downtown it will go to Cheney Creek Park. So you'll have 3 completely different opportunities available to you using that one continuous trail. So you'll go from Connor Prairie, which is a Smithsonian affiliate, the only one in Indiana, bring you downtown to where our shops, our restaurants, our entertainment venues are, and then offer you a chance to go down to a nature park, which is just on the doorstep of downtown, and offers people, you can take your son fishing. So, all of those will be connected with that next trail that goes forward, and that's probably the biggest project in the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm. So the Nickel Plate Trail in Fishers is really a key asset that again, like we talked about, will tie some components and destinations in town, whether it be downtown, Connor Prairie, the Cheney Creek nature area, and anything else we can kind of bring online.
So you say you have a turf trail? That you're actually walking on turf as the trail?
Yeah, in Cheney Creek today, as it exists today, which we're again bringing forward as an asphalt path here, it's probably going to be next year. It is a turf or grass trail running along Cheney Creek in an easement that's there today. So it is available for use today.
But changing that to an asphalt surface will make that trail a lot more accessible for the whole community, because you really can't move a wheelchair very well on the grass surface, but on the asphalt it will move fine.
Yes. One thing of note is while we've called it the Nickel Plate Trail, and it's really keyed off of some of our history with regards to the Nickel Plate Railroad running through Fishers, unfortunately we don't have that vacant railroad corridor available for trail use. So we're kind of simulating that and bringing a trail connectivity through parts of Fishers, without the asset like a lot of other communities have. But what we would like to do, and again, we touched a little bit earlier on the ability to provide regional connections. We'd like to, whether it be a long greenway or a long roadway, extend that Nickel Plate Trail into other communities and find a way to make connections in Indianapolis and Noblesville and anywhere else that we can find those connections at. And whether we can get from, say, Fishers downtown to somewhere in downtown Noblesville and beyond, I think would just, again, strongly enhance the trail in Fishers and the region. The railroad corridor that is the Nickel Plate Railroad is still intact, and it was purchased by the Hoosier Heritage Port Authority in the 1990s.
Okay.
And the reason for that acquisition, which that acquisition is from Tipton down to south of the Indiana State Fairgrounds in Indianapolis, was really a move to preserve that existing railroad corridor for the possibility of future transit, in whatever shape or form it would be, whether it's heavy rail, light rail, bus rapid transit, some combination of that, whether it be on that corridor or elsewhere. And so that's why I say we don't have the luxury of having an old railroad bed that someone has available through an old rail use that isn't here in Fishers today.
The Nickel Plate District as a cultural destination is different than a recreation destination or a shopping destination.
Right.
Tell us about what you envision that district to be.
Well, the Nickel Plate District is a lot of things, and one of the things we're working on is enhancing our cultural and art assets in Fishers. There is an organization called Nickel Plate Arts, and they work with the communities. We're the south end of where they are responsible for Fishers, Noblesville, Cicero, Arcadia, and Tipton are all linked on this art mission, all trying to enhance culture and art opportunities in the community. And so working with the Nickel Plate Arts, we have some projects that we're starting in downtown. So there's the trail, which will let you access our downtown and will eventually link up to Noblesville. So the Nickel Plate District offers a little bit more focus on public art. So we're working on that from a couple of different perspectives. We have a new pocket park right in downtown, and we've had a project that we worked with Nickel Plate Arts, and they financially helped us make that happen. And we've put up 7 blackboards along the back wall, and it says, "One day I will." And there's always chalk there, and all kinds of people come up and fill that in, and some of them are low, so little children can have their say. Some of them are up higher, and it's right beside the Handel's ice cream shop. So it's perfect for summer. People come, they get their ice cream, they come over to the park, they do a little art, they enjoy downtown Fishers, which again is all part of that mission of the Nickel Plate District. The second art project we're working on is a mural. We're going to put a mural on the wall that faces the pocket park, and we've just gone through that selection process. We have a local artist we're going to work with to get that mural, and it will be an interesting project in downtown Fishers. So the whole focus of the Nickel Plate is to create that environment where we have mixed use development, we have entertainment venues, you can walk to the store or the restaurant. You don't have to get in your car to do everything. So the Nickel Plate is just a part of our history. It's the railway, and so we've used that name to brand that whole district. Fishers has been spending a lot of money on developing branding and wayfinding so that all of our areas, when people come to various districts in town, that they're very much aware that they're in Fishers and what we have to offer here. And so they built the amphitheater in the downtown district. We've got all kinds of entertainment going on, and this summer on a Tuesday night we'd get 5,000 people to a concert. And again, then making those connections. Part of that nickel plate trail is already in place downtown. And some of those people, instead of getting their car, they either walk or they get on their bike and they bring their bike downtown. So the whole nickel plate district is about that whole vibe of just a different environment, walkability, all kinds of entertainment and retail options, dining options downtown for our residents to use and for visitors to use.
Currently, we have an ADA transition plan in place, and we will develop over time a way to implement it. We are kind of picking off bits and pieces and slowly implementing and trying to bring our existing sidewalks and pathways up to snuff to be compliant with current federal guidelines. Downtown we see that focus and more, I guess I should say. Not only do we want it to be accessible, we want it to be open and inviting, and we definitely see that kind of moving forward in the nickel plate area with regards to it being, I'll say, wider than the minimum, wider than the norm. We'd like to provide maybe even some speed tables and some a little bit lower grade change than what might be norm in a typical suburban environment. So especially in this downtown area where we want it to be a destination and be inviting to people, we've definitely got to go above and beyond the call of duty with regards to that.
Now that we have the amphitheater, there is a system of wide paths that go in front and lead up to the amphitheater, and there is a large stamped pavement area at the back. And that enables anybody in a wheelchair to get easily accessible.
Nice.
They can sit in that area with the stamp pavement, or they can move up on those pathways. And in fact, at the concerts this year, we have seen lots of people using those resources. One thing that might be important to talk a little bit about is the Nickel Plate Trail. Within 1 mile or a half mile either side of the trail, there's 12,000 Fishers residents that can access that trail. So that's a lot of people that will have a new amenity at their doorstep. The other thing is the northern end is the Connor Prairie Interactive History Park. And that is an amazing cultural asset in our community. And they get over 320,000 people that visit that museum or history park annually. And that's a huge resource to tap into and make it available for them to come downtown and explore Fishers in a different way. So, I think the numbers are very impressive that that trail will be very, very well used.
Has Fishers won any national awards or acknowledgments? Like one of the top places to live? Can you brag about that if that hasn't?
I don't know that I'm going to be able to quote them all and over multiple years.
Quote them all, but go
quote
ahead.
them all. There's, I'll say there's so many. I know it's consistently named a top place to live, a top place to raise a family, a top place to retire. But the various publications that are saying that, whether it's Money or Business Week or others, I don't think I can spout those off. And I know we've kind of fluctuated going up and down, but overall, I think people know that it's a great place to raise a family, to live. There's truly kind of everything you could need in a compact community.
One of the things we haven't talked about in terms of trails is why we get those accolades.
Yes.
Is trails are a win-win. They're good economic sense, and one of our goals is an economically sustainable community. Part of being economically sustainable is you not only have residential component, you have a nice healthy commercial component, and you get businesses attracted here where they will establish corporate offices, will bring their businesses here, and trails play a role in that. When an employer looks at a community, they look and say, would I like to raise my family here? Would my employees be attracted here? Would they like to raise their families? And as Jeff said, we've got the schools, we've got the low tax rate, we've got a safe environment. And our trails are second to none. I mean, we have trails all over town, and that's only going to get better. And from an employer's perspective, that matters. The other thing that we're seeing from the planning perspective is the millennials, the younger generation,
Yes.
has a completely different perspective on what they're looking for in a community. They want to be out of their cars more than in their cars. They don't necessarily want to commute. And what the research is telling us is that they look at where they want to live, and then they find a job there.
Rather than vice versa.
When I graduated, my
Yeah.
dad said, get a job, and wherever
right.
you got the job was where you were going
It
to
is.
live. And now it is a little bit different. They like that compact development. They are happy to use shared green space, public spaces that are meaningful. They like to interact. They don't like to be isolated in their homes. So they want to get out, and they want to be part of something. And so I think that is an important thing. It's almost like the American dream is sort of being redefined. It's not to say that low-density residential development will ever not be a part of Fishers. It's just about offering some more choices. So again, the Nickel Plate District will do that. It will address that need in the community. So, I mean, there's just a lot of opportunities here. Launch Fishers is another exciting project we started, and we're actually sitting in that
So
building.
Tell us about
Yeah.
Launch Fishers.
It's an opportunity. We've used a public building. We're in part of the library building here, right beside the municipal complex. This is a place where people who have a business idea can come. You can buy a membership. There's all kinds of computer stations out there. There's the relaxed.
Camaraderie.
Collaborative
there,
environment, sure.
Right, and there are some dedicated spaces you can buy, so you can have your office, your home away from home
Yes.
here, or we have people who just have a membership and they come and go and take things away with them. But if you've got a business idea and you want to make it happen, this is a very inexpensive way for you to grow your business. And once you've got your business, the idea is that once you've got your business going and you need more space, we hope that you'll choose to grow your business here in Fishers, where it started.
It was really, I was going to add, this space we're in now and this entire area where Launch Fishers was completely unutilized by the library. So it was just kind of an asset sitting here waiting
Right.
for someone to step in with an idea, and that's what has happened, and it's been an overwhelming success.
What is the character of Fishers from your perspective and from your perspective?
Well, that's a hard one. I would say that Fishers is very family-oriented. It's a young community, a very diverse community with a lot of potential. I think it's starting to really gain momentum. The excitement of the art, the culture, the recreation, it's all just a kind of a contagious energy. And I think that the next 10 to 15 years in Fishers, you're going to see a lot of change. Good change, positive change.
And Jeff, how do you see Fishers?
I see Fishers on a very significant upward trend. As the economy has slowed over the last few years, Fishers has continued to grow, albeit slower than we did in the 80s, 90s, the 2000s. But Fishers has kind of had a chance to take a deep breath We've done a good job kind of keeping up with our infrastructure needs, whether it be, roads and parks and trails and the like, and that will continue, don't get me wrong. But I see Fishers on a significant upward trend as the economy rebounds, with the redevelopment efforts downtown and kind of the mixing of our tax base along with continued residential development, because folks know it's a great place to live. I think Fishers finally is in a position where it can provide those amenities that people are demanding, whether it be, again, added parks, more trails, destination sites downtown, whether it be the amphitheater or otherwise. We're just on a great upward trend, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
So thank you both for your efforts and chatting with us today.
You bet. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.